today's video is going to be another first impressions get ready with me, but I really wanted to get this palette too, so I'm going to be doing a first impressions on the Nomad Okavango Safari Palette. Hopefully I didn't butcher that name. Look at this packaging. Isn't this beautiful? This is literally my 6th Nomad palette at this point. I have picked up every release that they have come out with this year because every color story that they have come out with has just really caught my eye, and I feel like they are absolutely killing it this year. Let me just make sure my light is all the way up. So I received, sorry, I'm like blocking the camera. Good job, Caitlin. So I did receive this in the mail yesterday, but I wasn't able to use it yesterday because it came like after I left the house. So I'm super excited to try it out today. So I'm just going to pull my hair back and we're going to get started. I'm wearing a tank today because I think yesterday was the first day of summer and it's already like super warm here. So even though it's not like that warm today, it's like super overcast. But yeah, I'm super excited to try this out. I've been seeing some really beautiful looks with this palette, and also I'm obsessed with this packaging. It's not like too soft and fabricy where like you feel like it would get super dirty. It's made really high quality. Like, this is definitely a lighter palette than some of their other palettes, but it feels like it's good quality. So, and then this is what the color story looks like. I'll show you guys a close-up. I think it's absolutely stunning. I swatched these last night and I'm just so ready to dive into this palette today. I'm probably only going to do one look in this video. I'm not sure if I might film a second look tomorrow because I'm intending on using it probably tomorrow as well, but we're going to stick with the neutral shades today. So I'm probably just going to go down the row and use these 3 shades. So the first shade I'm going to go into is called Towering Giraffes. So it's a very neutral, warm tone color. And as soon as I saw this color story revealed, I mean, I saw some of the shades teased, but everybody pretty much guessed that this palette was going to be somewhere in Africa because they haven't done an African themed palette yet. So everyone pretty much guessed where this location was pretty easily. I mean, I didn't guess the actual location. I just knew it was going to be in Africa. So I'm really excited that they did a safari themed palette. It makes total sense for Nomad to go there at some point. So I'm just super excited to use this. I am still getting over my stupid cold, so forgive the way that I sound. Honestly, I don't even feel that bad. It's just like I literally have been blowing my nose like so much, but also because I've been taking Claritin. So it's making, you know, everything more decongested, so it's just making me blow my nose so much. So okay, so first initial impression of this shade is that it does take quite a bit of building to get this built up. So I've been watching a ton of reviews on this palette, and I've mostly been seeing that the shimmers are more hard pressed in this palette, and the mattes are good, like the quality I expect from Nomad, but honestly, like, this one feels a little bit harder pressed as well. When I was swatching these, they were super buttery soft. But when I put it and build it on the eye, it's just a little bit difficult to build up. But this is also like probably the lightest shade in the palette, so it's not like a huge deal, but it is making my crease look a little bit textured. But that also might just be me because like my skin still isn't at like 100%, but it's like way better than it was. So, and I've just literally just been using Aquaphor and the foaming cleanser from Aveeno, and that's been my only 2 steps of skincare. I do have a dermatologist appointment on Saturday, so we will figure out what the cause was then. Okay, it is building up better now, but that took quite a bit of building to get that to like the pigmentation that I wanted it to be at. So yeah, let me just build that a little bit more. I just find it's a little bit dry. So let's see if the other shades pick up better. So now I'm using the shade Elusive Leopards, and it's kind of like a warmer toned color. And it's a little bit deeper than the first shade. That one works better. I just noticed that these are performing a little bit drier than what I'm used to from Nomad, but I'm sure the look is going to turn out beautiful still. When I swatched the shimmers, they were gorgeous. They are a little bit more hard pressed, like people are saying. But for me, I always use my fingers for my shimmers anyway when I apply them. So honestly, with Nomad's formula and the way they press their shimmers, it actually works better for me because then it really does not transfer as much than like a wetter shimmer or something that's like more of like a smoother, like super blinding shimmer will actually transfer more on me. Because like I feel like my lids are so hooded that it's actually better that this has a little bit more binding in it, so it's like pressed harder for me, so it works better for my preferences, but I know that's not for everybody. I'm not in love with the way it looks right now. I don't know. It's just, it didn't really build up enough in the crease for me, so. Okay, so let's go into the shade Pack of Wild Dogs, and that's going to give me some definition. Yeah, that shade is good. I figured this shade would be good because that builds up really easily. It has a little bit of fallout though, but honestly, this one is more pigmented, so I do like that more. So I'm just going to build that up here in the outer corners. So that's like the super dark brown. Well, it's like the warmer tone dark brown. There is like a cooler tone dark brown in the palette too. It's like almost like a grayish brown. So yeah, I was really excited to pick this up. I thought it was a beautiful color story. I'm glad that Nomad is releasing something that's a little bit more up my up my alley. Excuse me. I might do a comparison video of the Natasha Denona Yucca palette and this palette. But honestly, when I was swatching them side by side, I didn't really find too many similarities. Like, they're both very different palettes, actually. You can get a similar vibe from them, but they both have completely different shimmers. The shimmers are so different in each one. And the mattes, even though they are similar, the Natasha Denona palette is a lot more grungy and a little bit, I feel like it's very warm tone and cool tone, and then this one's like very warm tone. So I feel like no matter what, you're gonna get a different look out of both of them. That I think if you own both, it's not really like a big deal. Because you're going to get different vibes and different looks from both palettes, depending on the shimmer that you use. And also, like, I'm never going to be using, like, the same type of mattes for each look that I do, so. But I also think they make really good companion palettes if you decide to use them together. But clearly, they're both brands that I keep on going back to. This is now my 6th Nomad palette and my 5th Natasha Denona palette. So, yeah, I just can't stay away from either of them. Alright, I'm gonna put the shimmer on and then I will tell you guys which one performed better. Because I'm leaning towards the Natasha Denona, but I want to put on the shimmer first. So I don't know if I want to use this orange or this, like, more subdued color. I'm kind of leaning towards, why do I have like bits of tissue on my finger? Because I've literally been blowing my nose like 10 gajillion times. So this is like a, I think I'm going to have to do that one. because I'm probably going to do this. Oh, that one's so pretty too. I think I'm going to do the orange because I can use that other one on my inner corners. So we're going to go into the shade Roaring Lions. And again, it's a really stunning shimmer. I really don't think I'm going to have any issues with the shimmers. That's really pretty. I can tell that is harder pressed. But again, I kind of prefer that because it makes it easier to apply with your finger. I don't like when people say, oh, if you don't like the hard pan, then you shouldn't swatch your shadows. I think that's a load of crap. Like, I understand if it might be a little bit annoying if people have to use their fingers to apply the shimmers. But, like, also the shimmer shouldn't get hard pan or be more difficult to pick up with a brush. And it shouldn't be caused by swatching the shadows. Literally, as soon as I get a palette, I always swatch it. So it's like, you're like telling me to not swatch something that I paid for with my own money. Like, it's just so stupid when people say that. Like, for Annette's Makeup Corners review, she said that she wasn't crazy about this palette. She loved the Royal Europe palette a lot more, and I would have to say the same thing. I think the quality of the Royal Europe palette was probably like their best that they've ever done, and also the best that they came out with this year. That palette's amazing, but that shimmer I had no issues with. It's a really pretty shimmer, but I wouldn't say it's anything like special. Like, it looks more interesting with the imprint in the palette. But when you actually apply it, it's just like a bronze shimmer. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to play with the palette more. Like, I knew, like, these shimmers weren't going to be, like, anything revolutionary in this palette. And this color story isn't anything revolutionary either. But I still bought it because I still wanted it. And I thought that the color story was so pretty. So... But I really feel like we lost that crease shade already. Like, I feel like it's already gone because it was so light. So I'm going to reinforce that off camera, and then we'll do my base off camera as well, and then we'll come back and finish up the eyes. Okay, so I'm not really that crazy about this look, to be honest. I feel like the only reason why I picked up this, well, I picked it up for a couple of reasons. One, I really did love the color story. And two, it is different for Nomad because they've never done a color story like this. And I always find that their color stories are very unique. And I felt like doing my base on camera because I have some stuff to say. So, I don't know. We'll see. Depending on when I use it more, because I literally only used it once. So, my feelings might change after I use a couple more of the shimmers and the mattes, so I can't like write it off right away. It's good because it's Nomad, but like I just don't think, if you're not a collector like I am and you're not like reviewing stuff or like you're trying, but if you are interested in this color story because Nomad's never come out with a neutral color story like this before besides the Hudson Valley palette, and what's funny is that palette also had greens and grays in it as well, kind of similar to this palette. But I found that the quality of that one is way better than this one so far. Even though I definitely prefer this color story over the Hudson Valley. There's a lot more variety and versatility in this palette. The formula of the Hudson Valley palette is literal perfection. Those mattes are so amazing, and the shimmers in there are beautiful. Even though they're more like basic shimmers for Nomad, they are so metallic and shimmery and beautiful on the lids that I would say go for the Hudson Valley palette, but if you want more options, I would go for this palette. So it's really up to you. So those are just my thoughts. So I have one thing to talk about. So, I was trying to get Comic-Con tickets today for Saturday because I went to Comic-Con for the first time last year. I don't know if I did a chit chat get ready with me about my experience and everything. I'm just going to use my First Aid Beauty avocado concealer, whatever this is called. I haven't used this in a while, so I felt like using it today. And I just used my Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer because I haven't used that in a while either. So my friends always go on Saturday, but Saturday is literally the hardest day to go for New York Comic-Con because Saturday always sells out first. Like, everyone wants to go Saturday, which, because everybody's off from work, everybody can spend the entire day there. So it makes sense that Saturday is always the most packed day, because for people that can't take off of work Thursday and Friday, then they go Saturday, because Sunday usually doesn't have, like, all the, like, really good guests and panels. So me and my friend were trying to get tickets today. We both got in at the same time, which was kind of bizarre. Maybe we both clicked the link at the same time. And there was why am I putting more concealer on my nose? I already put concealer there. This concealer is pigmented as hell. I never realized that. Alright, I guess I'll just blend that out again. But anyway, I mean, I'm sure I did realize it. I just haven't used it in a little while. But it blends out so well. So by the time we got into the queue, which we only had to wait 20 minutes, there was no Saturday tickets available. Like, nothing. It wasn't even an option to select to get tickets for Saturday. I was like, I don't even think there were tickets available for Saturday, to be honest. Like, it didn't even say, like, coming soon on the website like it did for Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, because that's what it was saying before the tickets went on sale today. Like, there's a couple of chances to get Comic-Con tickets. The next time they go on sale is, like, June. No, not June. That was literally today. July 20th or 21st or something. So it's, like, pretty much every month. But it still says the same thing for Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, that tickets are coming soon. Because, like, that pre-sale ended today. Like, I think it only lasted, like, 50 minutes. And they probably gave out, like, all the quantities available. But it didn't say sold out. So, me and my friend just ended up picking tickets for Friday. Because I was like, you don't want to go Sunday. Because, usually the celebrities that are there, for Friday and Saturday aren't there Sundays. Like, some celebrities do all 4 days, and some of them do Thursday through Saturday, and some of them just do Friday and Saturday. So I was like, if we want to go, we should go Friday. But the only problem is that my friend had concert tickets to go see Queen the night before on Thursday, and I was like, well, clearly we can't go Thursday, but also I would rather go Friday anyway. And again, Sunday we wouldn't go because none of the celebrities that we would have wanted to see would be there. And we would just go to the panels. Like, we wouldn't do the meet and greets because they're so friggin' expensive. So we got Friday tickets. But we also didn't do, like, the pre-sale. But also, like, my friend that wanted me to go on Saturday, and my other friend, he was the one that got the 4 tickets for one of my best friends and her husband, because we wanted to go with them because I went with them last year, and it was a blast. But, like, honestly, like, it was just me and Karen that went around. Like, our other friend, like, just can't keep up with us because he has a lot of health issues. So he usually goes like Fridays and Saturdays though, like every year, but he said he was only going Saturday this year. So I don't know why. I mean, I guess because like Karen's husband can't get off Friday, but it would have been nice if we all went Friday instead. But they had already gotten their tickets on the pre-sale. But Karen also told me that she wasn't even able to get in to the pre-sale herself. Like, she was trying, and so was our friend Ray, and he was the one that got in and purchased the 4 tickets for all of them. So, like, there's a limited amount of the max tickets that you can get. Like, one person can get. They can only get up to 4 tickets. So, she was telling me that she wasn't even able to get in, and Ray was the one that had to get the tickets. But that's usually how it works out every year, because he did that last year. But I think he also, where the hell is my brown liner? Hold on one second. Okay, and then for blush, if I don't drop it, I'm just going to go in with good old NARS's Madly. Oh my god, it just came off. This is such an old blush, but obviously I have pan on it, so this is like one of my all-time favorite blushes. So we're just going to use that, because I can't be bothered to look for another blush. And this one's like a lot more neutral toned and not as peachy, and I didn't really want something super peachy. Excuse me. So yeah, all that shit is so gross. Like, I don't even understand how she can't address any of this. She literally does not care. Like, which is disgusting, because you scarred all of these underage fans, and they probably needed like years of therapy and counseling at this point, and it's just disgusting to me. And anyone who's defending her right now, like, I saw that this one girl was talking about like her experience at one of the live shows, and they were like, the fans were saying you were asking for it because of the way you were dressed. And I'm like, that is so vile. I'm like, I understand if you want to like defend your favorite YouTuber sometimes, if it's like over something that really isn't that serious, but this is so serious. And the fact that people are defending her when there are so many receipts and proof out there at this point is so disgusting. Like, and the fact that Trisha Paytas is still doing her podcast with Colleen, I don't even know how the heck they kept on doing it after Colleen kept on insulting her. But Trisha's always been a troll and like kind of like a glory chaser. So like, for her to not really say anything is disgusting too. And she's basically being an enabler by continuing this podcast. Even though people are like, good on Trisha for rebranding. I was like, wow. So that only like helps her channel stay alive, but she doesn't say shit about all the allegations that are going on right now. So I'm glad, you know, despite how controversial Jeffree Star is, and despite that I really just don't like him, I'm glad he's speaking up about it, because he has a way bigger platform than most of like the drama channels that are trying to speak up about it right now. And he's kind of like giving them more momentum and spreading it and putting it out there. So good on him for doing that. But also, he says that he doesn't have beef with Trisha, which probably only because because Shane and Trisha were such good friends, like, for a long time. I don't know if they're friends anymore, though. I thought they had a falling out after, like, the whole... Sorry. When their, like, big palette came out. I'm using the Nomad highlighter, by the way, and the shade Midnight Sun. I don't know why Nomad doesn't do more highlighters. Their highlighter formula is so stunning. I just wish that they would come out with more than just eyeshadow palettes. Like, I'm like, can we get like a highlighter or a blush at least in every collection? Because I would pick up every single highlighter. I mean, that would just make me spend more money, but these highlighters go on super sale that they end up being like $2.50, $3. Like, I would pay $20 for this quality because they're so stunning. So I don't really understand why they don't come out with more highlighters. They're so gorgeous. All right, let me just set my face. I'm getting so hungry, so I need to get out of here. Yeah, but I just don't really understand Trisha's behavior. But also, like, the stuff with Colleen's ex-husband, or maybe her current husband, forgive me if I'm wrong about that, is disgusting. Like, he was in these chat rooms with minors, and some of the stuff he said is so gross. Like, saying, like, oh yeah, you wanted to have sex with this girl, like, was this how it was? Because it made it sound like you effed her. I'm like, what the hell? Talking to an underage girl that's like 12 or something like that, and he was she was struggling with her sexuality at the time. It's just disgusting. Like, all of it like turns my stomach, and I'm glad that I stayed away from her because I always had like a weird vibe about her. So it's just really, really sad. And gross and fucking creepy, so. Okay, so now we're just gonna do my lips. I don't know if I'm gonna eat a quick snack before I leave. Yeah, I might just eat an apricot real quick, so I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so this is the finished look. Here are the eyes, the cheeks, and the lips. For the lips, I just used What's Your Sign from ColourPop. You can't get this anymore, so I figured not to record the clip of me applying it because you literally can't get it anymore because it was Captain Light Slippy with ColourPop. So yeah, so far, I think the palette performs really well. Did I get... Was that lipstick that I just got up there? I don't know how the hell that happened. So yeah, I really like it so far. I think that this look did turn out really pretty. I'm gonna have to continue playing with this to let you guys know what I think so far. I think the look did turn out really nice. So yeah, definitely not disappointed, but I feel like, you know, it's not anything revolutionary, but it's a neutral palette. So maybe I shouldn't be expecting as much because it's neutral, but like I'm really excited to play with the greens on the bottom. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. I just wanted to do an initial first impressions with this, so please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at SVW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. Let me know if you guys picked up this palette and what are your thoughts about all this stuff that I talked about. If you guys disagree with me, let me know. But yeah, let me know if you guys picked up this palette, if you were interested at all. And I might do a comparison of both palettes. Oh, let me just hold them up really quick and show you guys. Because a lot of people are comparing these two palettes, and they're comparing the Nomad palette to a lot of different palettes in general. Because it seems to be a pretty trendy color story right now. Which is also funny, like... like, greens, like, have always been, like, more of, like, a neutral kind of color to me. I feel like greens are easier to wear than blues are. So, like, I always like mixing greens and neutrals together. So these are the two palettes side by side. So this is the Natasha Denona Yucca palette, and this is the Nomad palette. And honestly, like, you can see they are similar. They're like cousins, but not sisters and not twins. Maybe they're sisters, but they're definitely not twins. I think I do prefer the quality of the Natasha Denona palette. I usually love the quality of Nomad as well, but I just wanted to show you guys the similarities. But I might do a full video where I use both palettes and let you know if the looks turn out similar. So I just wanted to show you guys a side-by-side really quick because, again, everybody is comparing these two, but I think I prefer the quality of the Natasha Denona. I've been absolutely loving the looks that I've been doing with this palette. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I love you guys. Bye.